Hello, and welcome to New Beginnings Start Today, the podcast for people who want to grow deeper in their faith in the Lord. I'm your host, Dr. Douglas Keffer, a minister, clinical pastoral counselor here in Roanoke, Virginia, and I have a passion for helping people to live their faith. Today, we will talk about our deeds reveal our faith, and how you can live out your faith by what you actually do. Let's get started. James, the brother of Jesus, had a hard decision to make about who Jesus was in his life. Is my brother mad? Has he gone insane? Or is he truly and truly the Son of God? He came to the conclusion that his brother was truly the Son of God. I believe he came to that conclusion because as he watched his brother minister to the people that he came to save, Jesus saw his brother live out by his daily actions what he said he believed. This was so different from what James saw of the Pharisees and the teachers of the law and the priest actually doing, the religious leaders of his day. It was evident that those religious leaders of James' day did not practice what Jesus taught his disciples, and that was to be faithful in what he taught them to do. Be doers of their faith and not just giving lip service. Jesus was very direct with these religious leaders when he said, "Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You are like whitewashed tombs, which look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside you are full of bones of the dead and everything unclean. In the same way, on the outside you appear to people as righteous, but on the inside you are full of hypocrisy and wickedness." Matthew 23, verses 27 and 28. What an indictment against the religious leaders of Jesus' day. And I am here to tell you that Jesus, I believe, would have the same indictment in many ways with the people that are supposed to be the religious leaders in our time. Jesus was accusing them of the principle of the old saying, "Don't do as I do as I say." Jesus knew their hearts, and he knew they were evil. Folks, remember, this is true for us today. Jesus knows our hearts, and thus he knows our motives. That philosophy never produced trust in anyone that they trusted to do what was right, but caused distrust to where that person had a very little positive influence on those that were supposed to trust them. It just did not and does not work like that. This kind of behavior James was seeing among his peers, and he knew he had to address it because it was causing problems in how people would trust their faith in what they expected to see their faith in Jesus to produce. James knew that what Jesus taught about God and his love for them was evident in what Jesus actually did as he ministered to the people he came in contact with. James wanted his peers there in Jerusalem to really see that they could live their faith by what they did from day to day to show others that their lives were being blessed because of their faith in Jesus and the promises that he gave to them. He gives a very poignant example of this when he said, "What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, "Go in peace, keep warm and well fed," but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself is not accompanied by actions, it is dead. James 2, verses 14 through 16. How do you understand what James is talking about if you claim to have faith, but you have no deeds to back your faith up? He uses a simple example of the poor and needy of his day, those that were hungry and didn't have clothing to keep them warm, and that person says to them, "Go in peace, keep warm and well fed." He is saying that if we do not, and if we are not willing to put into action our faith, those that need to see the love and care of Jesus will not do so, because all people will see us do is give them lip service, but no real tangible help. We see this kind of living all around us in so many areas of life. It's like the husband that tells his wife that he is not going to look at porn anymore. The wife sees, though, in just a few days, the same attitude that she saw when he was watching porn. And she was told to believe and had the faith that he was telling her the truth. She asked to look at his phone, and he reluctantly gives it to her, knowing full well what the wife is going to find. He is still looking at porn, and so his actions did not match what he wanted his wife to believe and have the faith that he would have the deeds to make her believe him. She is crushed and says, "You were lying to me about not looking at porn anymore. I guess I'm just not enough for you," walking away weeping bitterly. Then there is the congregation that says that they want to reach their community for Jesus and see people accept Jesus as Lord and Master of their lives. A church member tells the minister of a family that lives across the street that has fallen on hard times as the husband has been laid off from work, and they are having a very hard time even being able to buy groceries, let alone pay the bills, utilities, everyday needs. The minister listens to the need and says that the church will help them, but the powers to be in the church refuses to help, saying, "If word gets out that we are helping people with groceries and other bills, we will have people lined up every day wanting a handout. And we don't want to start that because there will be no end to it." How long do you think that family seeking help for their neighbors will be attending that church? Not long. That happens more than I want to even think about. The person who tells himself that he is going to stop drinking. He goes to the kitchen and pulls out all the alcohol and pours it down the kitchen sink and promises his family that he is going to quit. This sounds so good, and the family really wants to believe that he is going to follow through with this promise this time, as they have heard this so many times before. Then comes the weekend and the big ball game. And this man doesn't give it a second thought and picks up the six-pack of his favorite beer and goes home and he puts it in the refrigerator. Comes time for the game, and the six-pack is gone before halftime. He is confronted about the promise he made, and all he has to say for himself is, "I'm sorry." His deeds did not match what he said that he had the faith to do. We have to learn that our deeds do reveal our faith. I have told many of my clients that I have counseled over all these years. I could say to my wife, "I love you. I love you. I love you." But if my actions toward my wife did not match what it was that I said to her, those words become empty, and there would be no trust in what I would say to her. The big question I hear is this: how do we learn to live our faith so that our deeds match what it is we say we believe in? That's a great question. The first thing that you have to do is to be honest with yourself in what you are willing to do to live what you say that you believe. In today's world, that is a very difficult principle because there are so many forces telling you that you don't have to be that, quote, serious, unquote, about living your faith. There are so many people who say that they have tried to live their faith, but where has it gotten them? I hear, "The more I try to do what is right, the more it seems that all I get in return is more and more heartache." They can go on and give examples of all the things that have gone wrong and have the attitude, "Where is God in all of this?" I am here to tell you that living by this kind of faith all starts in how much time you are willing to sit with God and really seek His guidance for your life. This demands that you develop a consistent prayer life. Then you have to have a designated time where you sit down with God's Word and read what He has to say to you so you can develop a faith because you believe that His Word is truth. You read and believe, and you read about His deeds. And as you read about Jesus' deeds, those deeds match His faith because He was willing to go to Calvary and die there that you may have the promise that if you believe Him and do His will in your life, you will spend eternity with Him and God and all of those who have gone before you that have lived that kind of life, have lived that kind of faith, and it was evident in their deeds. This is what living our life of faith will produce: deeds that match what we say we believe. And let that begin with me. Thank you for listening to this episode, and I want to invite you to contact me and share how you find trusting God in His Word allows you to live your faith that is shown in your deeds. If you are seeing this on YouTube, please click the subscribe button and the like button. Also click on the share button and share it with all your friends. This will be so helpful to me. Tell me about other issues you would like me to address by leaving your comments. And you can email me at drdouglaskeffer@gmail.com. That's DRDOUGLASKEFFER@gmail.com. Until next time, God bless each of you.